But I came up, as I said, every couple of weeks to sign on and stuff like that. Um, and I lived in a wee 2 bedroom house, and no, it was 3 bedrooms, in Enid Parade, just off Ballyhackamore. And Margaret knew that I was obviously going to be there, sort of thing. So she was expecting me. So I when the door opened, and then I saw Lindsay at because the hall joined on to a door that led through the kitchen, and Lindsay, my wee daughter, she was at the very end of the kitchen, and every time I went up, then my instinct was to run towards her and grab her, and because oh my God, how beautiful a child was she? She still is. And I went to do it, and then Margaret said, "No, whoa, 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 hold on." And I said, "What have I done?" And she said, "Nothing." Lindsay, Lindsay, here's Daddy. You know, and I saw Lindsay get up onto her feet, and and waddle down the kitchen with her arms out, and I was like, "Oh no!" The first time, I mean, I'd missed her first steps, but this was the first time that I had seen her walking, sort of thing, and she came to me, and I held her into my chest, and then I went in, and I said to Margaret, "I can't miss this anymore." It's I mean, it would be different if it was like I was getting £1,000 a week, in a successful band, but as good as No Sweat were and are and always have been, um, there was going to be a struggle and a period of time required to actually break, and become, successful. And in that time, I was going to have to be down in Arklow, and we were eating, a hazelnut yogurt, a day, and sometimes these people would come along, and maybe visitors for the day, and they would bring along like a big pot with minced steak and tomatoes and stuff, and make a big thing of chili con carne, and well, if I mean, there were 11 of us or whatever, and then we're all eating and going, what, we're like kings for the day, sort of thing. And I mean, in all honesty, there were other things. I mean, on a Friday night, on the Friday nights that I wasn't, up in Belfast, we're sat down, and because those guys signed on as well, and you were given like a pound or a punt or whatever, and that was out you go, do whatever you want on a Friday night with a punt, and that was like it was like 50p to go and see a movie, and maybe then 50p to have a beer, like at that stage, because I mean I was in my early 20s, you know what I mean. But it wasn't too long before I met some brilliant people, and no, every single time I was there, I didn't really want to drink during the week anyway, because we were rehearsing all week, getting the songs. But then come the weekend, then friends would come and get us, and we would go to the bar, and I never, well, I didn't have anything in my pocket to put my hand in and take out anyway. But well, we were looked after then, me and Big PJ. We were like best buddies. And there were good times, there were unforgettable times, and times that I would never look back on and say that I regret. But I know that I would have regretted staying any length of time longer, because I would have missed out on really, really formative years with Lindsay. So I had to sacrifice that, and they went on and they recorded videos, and the No Sweat went on to do really, really good things. Paul Quinn, the singer who replaced me, was an amazing singer. So they got the right guy. So it wasn't as if I left them in the lurch, sort of thing. And they did good tours, and they toured with Little Angels, and I saw them afterwards, and we had a reunion up in Mandela Hall and the Rosetta and stuff like that in Dublin. Yeah, it was. I don't speak to them as often, but funnily enough, I was talking to the John, the bass player, a couple of years ago, and we had found each other on Facebook, and John's family owned like a music shop in Arklow, so he was a resident sort of thing. And I didn't know this at the time, but I mean, Paul, the guy who replaced me, was really bluesy. His voice, he was like, could have sang in thunder very, very easily. He had that sort of Paul Rogers, but with power sort of thing. And I always thought, that whenever I couldn't do it anymore and they got Paul, that they would have been relieved. Wow, I've got this guy, sort of thing. But John told me that he and the drummer and none of the other guys sort of hadn't spoken to him, but him and Des, the drummer, actually preferred my sort of more rocky metal style of singing. There was like an edge to it that wasn't just so safe and melodic and bluesy sort of thing. And I loved hearing that, because I was only with them for like 6 months or something. It wasn't like a really lengthy time, but for for to be with these guys for such a short space of time, and for them to turn around and say that then, because they were with Paul for for years afterwards, 4 or 5 years, and they preferred my vocals. I'm going, wow, that's amazing to hear. But I'm going to leave it at that, because I know that last night I spoke like for over an hour, and I don't even, as I say, sometimes it just comes out of my head. So hopefully there's like been a little journey done today, because it's sort of started off with a little bit about the health and mental health and stuff. Tomorrow I'm going to talk a wee bit about Empower and a project that I'm getting involved in from next week for 13 weeks, which is very 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 based on collectively getting together with people who have the same issues, and figuring out if there is a way to develop skills and stuff that you can actually use in employment, even if you have, now I'm being brought along as a sort of an advisor. I'm not, they're not bringing me along to, for to try and get me to, to discover that I've got this ability to, become an IT technician or whatever. But so because I've got experience of the therapy and stuff, so I'm going to do that. But I'll talk more about that tomorrow, because that's going to be an important 13 weeks. And maybe, you never know, one or two of you guys might even become part of it, if I leave the details and stuff. So don't forget, before I go, all this goes on to Facebook right away, but on Facebook it gets mixed in with everything else. But go on TikTok, John of Thrones, at John of Thrones, and everything's collected into one place, and you can follow if you want. By now there's hours and hours of me sitting doing this. If avoid it like the plague. If you don't find anything that I'm saying interesting, but if you want to catch up and you don't want to scroll down Facebook news feeds and stuff, to find it, TikTok, John of Thrones, follow me, I'll follow you, okay? And that goes for everything else as well, okay? So take care of yourselves. I will speak to you all tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it, and I love you all.